Hi kids. So today's assignment is going to use some natural materials again, some items that you might gather from the yard or the garden. And this is something I made last year with some clippings that I got from just, plants that grow in the yard. And I microwaved them. Yeah, you can press with the microwave now. So if you're my age, of course you remember before there was a microwave. Yes, I remember getting a microwave for the first time. Um, but you used to press flowers and leaves and things between maybe wax paper and a book. And it would take a while, it would dry out, and it would stay nice and flat. But now that process can be exponentially shortened in the microwave. So we're going to go over how to do that. And for this, you will need adult permission. You cannot go cutting your family's prize roses, right? Like make sure you check with your family about what you can and cannot cut from the yard. And you'll also need help with the microwave and possibly with the glue, since we're going to be using, glue for this. So flowers and leaves, I suggest getting an arrangement of both. You don't really want it to be all flowers. I know it sounds like it would be pretty if that were the case, but some leaves look really good in there. Also, all leaves, like this is mostly, leaves and plants, and it looks really nice. It doesn't need flowers. Paper, okay, so you can use colored construction paper. You know from me explaining before that most colored construction paper will fade over time. You can use a nice decorative paper. And then I have a little heart down here to tell you paint is optional. So if you want to paint it first, like on this particular piece, I used cardboard. I didn't use paper. So there's a cardboard piece inside there that's off a cereal box. So I just measured the size and painted the cardboard. And that worked out really well, but you don't have to take that extra step. So paint is optional. Glue, not a glue stick today. That won't work for these tiny petals. A frame. So the frame I'm working with is just a dollar store frame. I took the frame apart. So I have, be careful with that, right? This is glass in here. I have this so that I can measure it to get the right size of my colored construction paper so that I know how big my flowers and plants can be. I'd be real disappointed if I made them too big and they didn't actually fit inside the frame. A microwave. And paper towels, dish towels, that's part of the process for microwaving the plants. You'll also need something flat to hold to push the plants down. I have a little video demo for this that I'm going to embed into this video so that you can see that process. Okay, so here's some of the plants that I gathered from my yard, and here's the construction paper. I'm not sure that I'm going to use blue. I'm going to look at a couple different colors behind these and see. So I got a fern leaf, right? And I got some begonias, and those are pretty great because they're kind of strong, and these leaves were starting to turn red around the edge, and I thought that's so pretty. I want that. And then another type of begonia. I have a lot of begonias because I have a lot of shade. Like I can't make anything grow. And then this is just the little flower off of a hosta. We had some late blooming hostas, so we had some late flowers. Okay, so I'm going to press these in the microwave, and I'm going to embed the clip of how to do that, and I'll be right back with my pressed flowers. Okay, kiddos, so this is not my clip. This is from YouTube. I have the sound off because I'm going to narrate it a little bit differently than she does. Like I said, you're going to be collecting some, leaves and plants that you want to work with, and she shows you how to kind of flatten them out and arrange them in a way where they will press nicely, right? You don't want them to be too bulky, so you're going to take off all the excess. And then we're going to press them in the microwave, which is great. So a lot of demos use a paper towel. I don't have paper towels. I've been using dish towels and it works just fine. So if you have paper towels, great. If you need dish towels, that's fine too. And then you have to press it flat. So she's using like a casserole dish. My plates don't really have like a flat bottom. but anything with a flat bottom to weigh it down is really important. And then I do mine in increments of 30 seconds. So after 30 seconds, I take it out and I look at it, and you'll see moisture has come out of it. And then at this point, you can still change the arrangement. So if you realize some of your petals are pressed the wrong way, you can fix it and you can put it back in. What you're looking for is for the moisture to be gone so that when you take it out, it's dry and flat, and that's when it's ready to do. If it's not dry and flat yet, do another 30 seconds. Okay, I hope that this is helpful. And then when you're done pressing your flowers in the microwave, we will make a nice arrangement. Okay, talk to you soon. Okay, so I'm back and I learned a couple things. One, begonias are not as strong as I thought they were. And two, not all dish towels are created equal. So if you found out the hard way, like me, that dish towels with like a towel-like quality would sort of get stuck in your plants, sorry. If you haven't done it yet, please use a smooth dish towel, the smoothest that you have. And so when things like this happen and the flower comes apart from the stem, don't worry about that at all, because you're going to be gluing these down and it won't matter, right? I had a couple flowers that were so stuck into the towel that they, kind of broke apart a little bit, and that's okay too. Like, this is meant to be natural, and nothing in nature is perfect. So my fern turned out well, the leaves turned out well, and my petals turned out well, but they're kind of separated. So now I have like this adorable little petal. It's kind of tough to see. And I'll just glue it with its, with its flower. So my next two things that I'm going to do are I'm going to take this paper. So I think I am going to use the light blue. And I'm going to measure it against, I'm putting all this on like a little tray so I don't lose it. There we go. Measure it against this so that I know that it fits, and understand that some of your frame is going to cover the outer border of the back. So you don't really want your plants to go all the way to the edge. You really want them to stay in this shape here. If your stuff is looking kind of bulky and you're thinking, I can glue it down, but it might not close in the frame, you might want to use one of these. Now this is also from the dollar store, but they make more sturdy ones at Target, Walmart, any place like that, where the clip is on the outside, and you can just clip your project right to this, and it will look very, very nice. All right, so when I come back, I'm going to have my paper cut. I'm going to have some glue in a little container, and you know what I'm going to use? Probably a little Q-tip. So something where I can really control how much glue goes on the paper. I'll see you in a second. Okay, so now let me show you my setup. I have a little piece of wax paper with a little glue on it. You really won't need a lot for this. These are paper thin, like super thin. It won't take a lot of glue to hold them down. I have tweezers because it was hard for me to grab some of the things. It might be easier for, little fingers, I don't know. A Q-tip for tapping some of the glue. Again, you might be able to use your finger for that, but if you get sticky and then you go to touch something else, you'll stick to it and then you'll rip it apart. And I want to show you two things. One, this arrangement doesn't look good yet, right? It's got too much going on. It's got no focal point. It's just a cluster of items. But what I can do with this is I can sort of lift and look and change my arrangement until I have something that I sort of like. And if I'm realizing I don't want to use, something in here, take it out, set it aside, and just use the items that you really like. You might come down to one thing on this paper that you really like and you want to glue down, and that's totally fine. The other thing is I took off some of my fern leaves because the fern was too long, right? And I started putting them down like a little grass, and I was like, that's kind of cool. Like, maybe you want to take apart your plants all together and rearrange them into like a little scene, like a little not sure if you can see that with the bright light. It's really hard for me to tell what you can see and what you can't. And then maybe you turn some of your flowers into something that looks more like, you know, butterflies or bees. I don't know. You know, it's your project. But one way or the other, when you do decide what you're going to want, and you have an idea of what order they're going to go, you're going to lift up the stuff that's over it. I'm being so gentle with these because, like, they are so thin. Now this is the one I'm not sure of. I like some things about it, but there's some things that I just feel like it's almost too brown and thick for this, and I'm not sure if I really want it. Makes it look a little like, I don't know, I can't see everything else when it's on there. It's too opaque. So let's say I want to start with this, right? And I'm actually not going to glue it down. I'm just going to show you how I would. I would figure out where I'm going to want this to go. Take a little bit of glue on the Q-tip, put it down on the paper where I want it. Put this back down gently into the glue. And just lightly press so that it stays put. Okay, that's how you can build and arrange. And then if something goes on top of it, you'll take the glue, tap it on very, very gently. Tap, don't pull, because you'll pull apart your plants. And then just lovingly press it down and tap. Okay, listen, I hope you have a lot of fun with this. I know it feels laborious and time consuming, but to be honest, once you get the hang of this, you can make them constantly. So there's no reason to feel like, oh, this one, you know, turned out better than that one, or this didn't work out. Go make another, you know, like who cares? Have fun with it. And I will show you my finished piece when I'm done. Okay, so here's what I finished making. You know what I got rid of was the big fern. I only used a little bit of it peeking out here, and I put 2 more leaves there and there. And then I placed the other, make sure you can see it okay, can't go that way, can't go that way. Ooh, there we go. Yeah, okay, kind of like it. All right, take care.